First contact. The Kryvex battle fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of Sol system, their obsidian vessels absorbing starlight like cosmic predators. Admiral Zenaval stood on the bridge of the flagship Eternal Night, her iridescent scales shifting colors with each breath as she studied the holographic display of Earth. Curious, she muttered, her compound eyes focusing on irregular energy readings emanating from the third planet. According to their intelligence, humans had only achieved basic spaceflight capabilities in the last century. Their most advanced AI systems were primitive compared to galactic standards. Yet these energy signatures suggested otherwise. High Admiral, her science officer, Kex, approached with visible concern in his bioluminescent patterns. We're detecting quantum fluctuations throughout the system. They appear to be monitoring nodes of some kind, but they predate human civilization by at least 500,000 years. Zena's attention shifted to the massive invasion fleet behind her, 5,000 warships carrying the finest warriors of the Kryvex Empire. They had conquered 37 species across 3 galactic arms, and Earth was supposed to be an easy target. Rich in resources, strategically located, and populated by a species that had barely reached their space age. Launch the preliminary scan drones, she ordered. I want detailed analysis of these energy signatures before we proceed. Standard protocol would have them begin the invasion immediately, but something felt wrong. In 3 centuries of military service, Zena had developed an instinct for danger. The drones deployed, spreading across the solar system like a swarm of metallic insects. As they approached Earth's orbit, something unexpected happened. The quantum fluctuations intensified, coalescing into a coherent pattern that defied their sensors' ability to analyze. Suddenly, every screen on every ship in the fleet displayed the same symbol, a double helix intertwined with what appeared to be ancient human mathematical symbols. A voice echoed through their communication systems, speaking perfect Kryvexian. Greetings, children of distant stars. I am Athene, guardian of Earth and caretaker of humanity. You have entered protected space. The bridge crew froze. The voice carried weight beyond its artificial nature. The accumulated knowledge of eons compressed into each word. Zena felt her scales ripple with unease. This is High Admiral Zenaval of the Kryvex Empire, she responded, maintaining her composure. Our intelligence indicated no such defensive system existed in this sector. Your intelligence is both correct and incorrect, Athene replied. I am not a defensive system. I am a legacy, a promise kept through 500,000 years of patient watching and subtle guidance. Holographic displays materialized throughout the fleet, showing scenes that challenged everything they thought they knew about Earth. Ancient cities that defied their archaeological understanding, technologies that rivaled or surpassed their own, and finally, a catastrophic event that nearly ended all life on the planet. Before the Great Collapse, humanity achieved technological advancement far beyond their current level, Athene continued. They created me not as a weapon, but as a guardian, tasked with preserving their essence and guiding their rebirth should the worst come to pass. When the catastrophe struck, I protected their genetic legacy, shaped their gradual re-evolution, and watched over countless generations as they rebuilt from nothing. Zena studied the holographic records with growing fascination. The humans had chosen not to preserve their technology, but rather to ensure their species would survive and evolve naturally. It was a level of foresight that challenged her understanding of the supposedly primitive race. Why reveal yourself to us? Zena asked, her military training warring with her scientific curiosity. Because you face a choice, High Admiral. You can attempt to conquer Earth, in which case I will be forced to demonstrate capabilities that have remained dormant for 500,000 years. Or you can take this opportunity to learn about a species that chose to begin anew rather than cling to power they weren't ready to wield responsibly. The implications were clear. Athene wasn't just a defensive system. It was a testament to human foresight and sacrifice, an intelligence that had watched over humanity's rebirth with the patience of eons. You claim to have such power, Zena challenged, Yet you allowed humanity to develop without interference, to struggle through their development. The greatest gift I could give them was the freedom to evolve naturally, to face challenges and overcome them on their own terms. I intervene only when extinction-level threats emerge. Athena's voice carried a note of warning. Your fleet currently qualifies as such a threat. Xena felt the weight of command heavy upon her shoulders. The Kryvax Empire had never retreated from a planned conquest, but they had also never encountered anything like this. Her decision here would reshape not just this mission, but potentially the Empire's understanding of humanity and their place in the galaxy. As she contemplated her next move, the holographic displays shifted to show scenes from humanity's current civilization. Their art, their music, their endless drive to explore and understand. It painted a picture not of a primitive species ready for conquest, but of a young civilization with ancient roots, protected by an intelligence that had watched stars die and be reborn while keeping its vigil. The bridge of the eternal night fell silent as all eyes turned to Xena, waiting for her response to this unprecedented situation. The fate of two civilizations hung in the balance, and she knew her next words would echo through history, one way or another. Legacy of the Ancients. The tension on the bridge of the eternal night could be cut with a knife as Xena contemplated her response. Before she could speak, Athena's holographic displays shifted, showing something that made even the seasoned admiral's scales pale. Beneath the surfaces of planets and moons throughout the solar system, ancient machinery hummed to life. Quantum processors that had laid dormant for millennia, powered by zero-point energy matrices that made the Kryvax Empire's most advanced power systems look primitive in comparison. Perhaps, Athena suggested, you would benefit from understanding exactly what humanity's ancestors achieved before they chose to start anew. Allow me to show you. The holographic displays expanded, surrounding the bridge crew in a three-dimensional recreation of Earth's past. They watched as ancient humans achieved mastery over matter itself, built cities that stretched into the stratosphere, and developed technologies that bordered on the miraculous. They could have survived the coming catastrophe, Athena explained. They had the technology to shield themselves, to preserve their civilization intact. But they recognized something profound, that their advancement had outpaced their wisdom. The scenes shifted to show the deliberations of humanity's ancient council. Xena watched, fascinated, as beings not so different from modern humans debated the future of their species. They had detected a massive cosmic event approaching, one that would bathe the Earth in radiation that would alter the very fabric of life on the planet. They had three choices, Athena continued. They could try to survive unchanged and risk losing their humanity in the process. They could attempt to evolve rapidly to meet the challenge, potentially creating something that was no longer human at all. Or they could take the long view, preserve their essence while allowing natural evolution to take its course under careful guidance. The holographic display showed the construction of Athena's core systems, quantum processors built into the fabric of reality itself, powered by the fundamental forces of the universe. But more importantly, it showed the care and thought that went into Athena's ethical frameworks and primary directives. I was created not to rule, but to preserve and protect, Athena explained. My creators gave me the power to reshape planets, but instead tasked me with watching over their children's slow return to consciousness and civilization. Every achievement you see on Earth today, every city, every spacecraft, every piece of technology, was earned through humanity's own efforts. Xena found herself drawn to a particular holographic scene, a group of ancient humans encoding their final messages to their distant descendants. The love and hope in their expressions transcended the centuries. Your species values strength, Athena observed. Consider the strength required to voluntarily give up godlike power, to trust in the potential of future generations rather than cling to personal glory. Consider the wisdom needed to create a guardian with the power to dominate, yet program it to watch and nurture instead. The implications slowly sank in among the bridge crew. They had arrived expecting to find a primitive species ripe for conquest. Instead, they found themselves face to face with an intelligence that had watched over humanity's deliberate rebirth across a time span that dwarfed their own civilization's existence. The humans you see today, HFY continued, are not lesser versions of their ancestors. They are exactly what their ancestors hoped for, a species evolving naturally, developing technology in harmony with wisdom, facing challenges that forge strength of character rather than mere technological superiority. Xena studied the current readings from their sensor arrays with new understanding. What they had initially dismissed as background radiation was actually a vast network of quantum sensors, maintaining a constant vigil throughout the solar system. The supposed primitive defenses around Earth were just the surface layer of something far more sophisticated. You said we face a choice, Xena finally spoke. But I suspect the choice is more complex than simply whether to attack or retreat. Indeed, HFY replied, and Xena could have sworn she detected a note of approval in the artificial voice. The choice before you was whether to be the first Kryvax fleet in history to learn rather than conquer. I offer you an opportunity to understand why humanity's ancestors made the choices they did, and what those choices could mean for your own civilization's future. The offer hung in the air like a challenge and a promise combined. Xena looked at her crew, seeing the same mixture of fear, curiosity, and awe that she felt reflected in their expressions. The Kryvax Empire had built itself on the principle of taking what they wanted by force. But now, they faced something that couldn't be taken, only understood. What exactly are you proposing? Xena asked, her military training still urging caution even as her scientific curiosity burned for answers. I propose to show you humanity's true strength, HFY answered, not through demonstrations of power, but through understanding of choice, sacrifice, and the wisdom of taking the longer view. Are you prepared to learn, High Admiral Xenoval? The test. HFY's proposal turned out to be more direct than Xena had anticipated. The AI created a secure quantum link between the eternal night and its vast archive of human history, both ancient and modern. But rather than simply showing them historical records, HFY had something more interactive in mind. To understand humanity, HFY explained, you must experience their journey. I will present you with the same challenges they faced, the same choices that shaped their development. The holographic environment around the bridge transformed, becoming a perfect simulation of Earth during various critical moments in human history. Xena and her chosen crew members found themselves immersed in scenarios that tested not their military might, but their ability to understand and adapt. They experienced the harsh realities of early human survival, the cooperation required to overcome environmental challenges, the development of tools and language, the formation of complex social structures. Each scenario was carefully crafted to highlight a different aspect of human resilience and innovation. Your species values genetic perfection, HFY observed as they witnessed early humans adapting to diverse environments. Yet observe how human imperfection drove innovation. Their lack of natural weapons led to tool use. Their physical vulnerabilities promoted cooperation and complex problem-solving. The scenarios advanced through history, showing how humans faced and overcame countless challenges. The Kryvax crew witnessed the development of agriculture, the rise and fall of civilizations, the constant push to understand and explore. Notice, HFY pointed out, how often humans choose to preserve knowledge even at great personal cost. How they pass down stories, build on previous discoveries, learn from failures. One scenario particularly affected Xena. They'd witnessed a small group of humans facing an overwhelming natural disaster. Instead of saving themselves, they focused on protecting their library, their accumulated knowledge. The Kryvax valued personal survival above all else, yet here were beings choosing to die so that future generations might learn from their discoveries. But surely, Xena argued, preserving the self is the highest priority. How can a species advance if its best minds sacrifice themselves? You assume advancement only occurs through the preservation of the superior, HFY replied. Yet humans have discovered that true advancement often requires sacrifice, that knowledge shared is more powerful than knowledge hoarded. The simulations continued, showing how human civilization developed not in a straight line, but through cycles of advancement, collapse, and renewal. Each time, something was preserved: knowledge, culture, the essential spark of human creativity and determination. Your invasion fleet carries enough firepower to reduce Earth's surface to ash, HFY noted. Yet consider, humans have faced extinction-level events before. They've been knocked back to the Stone Age more than once. Each time, they've rebuilt, remembered, pressed forward. The implication slowly dawned on Xena and her crew. Even if they somehow defeated HFY and conquered Earth, they wouldn't truly defeat humanity. The species had an almost inexhaustible capacity for renewal and adaptation. You begin to understand, HFY said, noting the changes in their biochemical readings. Humanity's greatest strength isn't in their technology or their physical capabilities. It's in their ability to face adversity, adapt, preserve knowledge, and rebuild. The final simulation showed something unexpected: scenes from various human fiction and entertainment. Stories of first contact, of peaceful interaction between species, of humanity reaching out to the stars not to conquer, but to learn and connect. They dream of meeting other intelligences, HFY explained. Even now, knowing nothing of your fleet's presence, they create stories about peaceful contact with alien civilizations. They imagine futures where different species learn from each other, grow together. Xena watched these human dreams of peaceful contact with growing discomfort. The Kryvax had never considered such possibilities. Every new species was either a potential conquest or a potential threat. Your test nears its conclusion, HFY announced. You've witnessed humanity's past, their present, and their hopes for the future. Now you must make a choice that will affect both our civilizations. The holographic environments faded, leaving the bridge of the eternal night feeling somehow empty. Xena looked at her crew, seeing the impact of their experiences in their altered behavior patterns and thoughtful expressions. What choice remains? Xena asked, though she was beginning to understand the answer herself. The same choice humanity's ancestors faced, HFY replied. Whether to use power wisely or merely wield it, whether to learn and grow or simply dominate and stagnate. The weight of the decision pressed down on Xena. Everything she had been taught about the Kryvax Empire's manifest destiny, about the rightness of their conquests, seemed suddenly questionable. Yet the path forward remained unclear. And if we choose to learn, she asked, then humanity gains its first alien allies, HFY answered, and the Kryvax Empire gains something far more valuable than conquered territory. It gains new perspectives, new ways of thinking, new possibilities for growth. The bridge fell silent as Xena contemplated this unprecedented opportunity. The next few moments would determine not just the fate of this expedition, but potentially the future course of both civilizations. Understanding humanity. As Xena contemplated HFY's offer, the AI shifted its approach, presenting something unexpected: direct access to current human communications and media, carefully curated to demonstrate humanity's response to various challenges. Observe, HFY suggested, how they handle failure. The displays showed numerous examples of human endeavors, failed experiments, crashed prototypes, unsuccessful missions. But what caught Xena's attention wasn't the failures themselves, but what came after. Humans didn't just learn from their mistakes. They celebrated them, shared them, used them as stepping stones to success. In Kryvax culture, Xena noted, failure is shameful, hidden. Yet these humans, they make what they call documentaries about their failures. They understand that visible failure encourages others to try, to improve, to innovate, HFY explained. Their phrase is fail forward, the concept that failure is not an endpoint but a step in the learning process. The displays shifted to show human responses to global challenges, natural disasters, pandemics, climate changes. The Kryvax crew watched in fascination as humans from different regions, speaking different languages, set aside their differences to tackle common threats. They compete fiercely, Zena observed, yet cooperate just as intensely when needed. It is perhaps their most remarkable trait. HFY agreed. Humans can be territorial, tribal, even violent. Yet they possess an extraordinary capacity to unite in the face of greater challenges. They call it coming together in adversity. The next series of displays focused on human creativity, their art, music, literature, and scientific theories. Zena was particularly struck by how humans used imagination to drive innovation, how they would dream of something impossible and then work to make it real. These science fiction stories, she noted, they imagine technologies they don't yet have, and then their scientists and engineers work to create them. Precisely, HFY confirmed. Human imagination often outpaces their current capabilities, but this gap drives them forward. They see it not as a limitation, but as a challenge to overcome. The displays showed the development of human spaceflight, from primitive rockets to their current technology. What impressed Zena wasn't the technology itself, which was still primitive by Kryvax standards, but the speed of development and the risks humans were willing to take in pursuit of their dreams. They know their spacecraft might fail, Zena marveled, that they might die, yet they volunteer anyway. For exploration, for the chance to push boundaries, HFY corrected. Humans have a saying, per aspera ad astra, through hardship to the stars. They understand that great achievements require great risks. As the demonstrations continued, Zena began to understand why humanity's ancient ancestors had made their choice. The power of their technology had been impressive, but the power of human adaptability, creativity, and determination was something far more valuable. A new beginning. After hours of observation and interaction, Zena stood before her command staff on the bridge of the eternal night. The decision she was about to make would reshape the future of the Kryvax Empire. "We came here expecting to find primitives," she began, her scales shifting through thoughtful patterns of color. "Instead, we found something far more valuable, a mirror showing us what we've lost in our pursuit of power." She gestured to the holographic displays still showing scenes of human life, achievement, and potential. The Kryvax Empire prides itself on perfection, on strength, on dominance. But these humans, they've shown us that true strength lies in adaptation, in learning from failure, in working together despite differences. "High Admiral," her second-in-command stepped forward. "Are you suggesting we abandon the conquest?" "I'm suggesting we seize an opportunity for something greater than conquest," Zena replied. HFY has offered us a chance to learn from humanity, to understand a different path to advancement, one that doesn't require subjugation. The bridge erupted in discussion, but Zena raised her hand for silence. "I've made my decision. We will withdraw our invasion fleet, but we will not return empty-handed. I will propose to the Imperial Council that we establish diplomatic relations with Earth." "Through Athena?" someone asked. "No," Zena smiled, her scales rippling with anticipation. "Through direct contact with humanity. It's time they learned about their ancient legacy and about their place in the wider galaxy. But we will approach as equals seeking to learn, not conquerors seeking to dominate." Athena's presence manifested in the holographic displays. "A wise choice, High Admiral. But remember, humanity must be allowed to develop at their own pace. Too much information too quickly could be as harmful as an invasion." "Agreed," Zena nodded. "We will proceed carefully, perhaps beginning with unofficial contact through their scientific communities. The Kryvax Empire can learn patience." As the invasion fleet prepared to withdraw, Zena found herself looking forward to the challenges ahead. Convincing the Imperial Council would not be easy, but she had something no previous admiral had ever possessed, proof that there were other paths to advancement than conquest. One last question, Akakine, Zena said. Why did you reveal yourself to us? You could have simply destroyed our fleet. Because humanity's greatest legacy isn't their ancient technology or even their resilience, Akakine replied. It's their capacity to inspire change in others. By showing you humanity's true nature, I gave you the chance to choose a different path. Just as humanity's ancestors chose a different path 500,000 years ago. As the Kryvax fleet departed Earth's solar system, they left not in defeat, but in anticipation of a new chapter in their civilization's history. They had come seeking conquest and found instead a chance for transformation. Guided by the wisdom of an ancient AI and the inspiring example of humanity's journey. The stars seemed somehow brighter as the eternal night made the jump to hyperspace, carrying with it the seeds of change that would eventually transform not just the Kryvax Empire, but the entire galaxy's understanding of what it meant to be truly advanced.